Good evening and welcome to Real Talk with Michelle 2024. We've made it to another year, and for this we are truly grateful. Before I begin the show, I do want to say thank you for your continued support. Thank you for watching, thank you for the comments, thank you for the emails. It is my prayer that as we continue in 2024, that we will continue to bless souls. As I've said from the beginning, this show is inspirational. It's a platform that's designed to uplift, encourage, and bless. And so continue to watch, continue to be blessed, and continue to be encouraged. My guest this evening is Pastor Darrell Palmes. He is a pastor, he is a husband, he's an author, and he's a man of God. We are going to talk with Daryl this evening, and we are going to learn about his personal journey, his pastoral journey, and he also does juicing. So we are starting 2024 with a health boost. Good evening.
Hey, what's going on, Michelle? Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
I really, really, really appreciate it. We've been trying to make this happen for a while.
long time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been like a year.
And it's finally here.
Yeah,
it's finally here. So I do appreciate it.
What better way to kick off the year, right? Health and
Right?
wellness.
Health. I know that, when a new year begins, we all start with goals.
Yeah.
Whether it's financial or, health or, whatever it is. We all have those New Year resolutions,
Sure.
as they're called.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start 2024 with something healthy, uplifting, and encouraging. So we're going to get into all of that.
Let's talk about it.
Yes,
Let's go.
yes. So before we do,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about who is Darrell Palmes. Who are you? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
You know what? That's the famous question. I think most people, myself included, is just trying to figure that out. Who am I? Right? I could tell you what I do. I could tell you some things that I've accomplished, but who I am, I'm just a guy trying to figure this thing out called life, right? Figure life out and trying to do the best I can every single day. I wake up in the morning, right? And try to get better and better. There's a book that's called Atomic Habits that says you can just try to get better 1% every single day. And that's who I am. I'm the guy that's just trying to get 1% better. Sometimes it's 0.5%, sometimes it's 0.1, sometimes it's 2%, right?
It's something.
But it's something every single day, just
yeah.
getting better. And that's who I am in a nutshell. Just an imperfect guy trying to get better every day.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. We all are a work in progress.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about your pastoral journey. So you're a pastor.
Yeah.
You currently have 2 churches in the South Carolina area. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that journey. What made you decide to become a pastor? Were you called? Is it something that you decided? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've been pastoring now and involved in preaching ministry for about 15, 16 years, since 2008. So I'll give you the quick story. I was working with a well-known pastor in the Adventist church in 2007 at the Atlanta Berean Church. And after service one day, I just, come home from church. I'm working in television ministry, with this church. Come home from church exhausted. I hear this voice that says, write a sermon. And I'm tripping because the voice is so audible. I'm thinking, and it's this booming male voice. I'm like, yo, is this somebody in this closet? Like, for real, I know I just came from church, but we got to fight. Let's go. And I literally looked around like, what is this voice? It says, write a sermon. And I've never been involved in ministry. Let me tell you something funny, Michelle. I had plans that night to go to a sports bar.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I know.
And was the experience at church that day anything out of the norm for you?
I don't even remember that experience.
Okay.
I just remember, being involved in media, setting up the cameras, being one of the last ones to leave, breaking everything down, getting home like around 3 or 4 o'clock. And yeah, just hearing this audible voice say, write a sermon. This is 2007, summer of 2007. I write the sermon. I pull out Sabbath school lesson. I pull out my Bible. I pull out all this stuff to write the sermon, something I've never before done, right? And I'm just writing. Like I said, my plan was to go to a sports bar that night. And I tell you that I was in the church, but not of the church. I'll just leave it there, right? And the things that I was going to consume weren't of the church. That's all I'm saying, right?
Work in progress.
Work in progress, right? Work in progress. And so, but I end up writing this sermon, or at least starting the process anyway. And I remember that situation when I told my wife, I was saying, hey, listen, I'm about to, oh no, she came upstairs saying, hey, are you ready to go to the spot?
Right.
And I'm like, no, I'm not ready yet. I'm writing a sermon. And she looked at me like, wait, what? Like, who? What? I'm like, I get it, but I just heard this voice that said, write a sermon. Right? Michelle, never had any intention of ever preaching that sermon.
Wow.
So I'm going to fast forward now. This is summer of 2007. December of 2007, I get an invitation to preach for a youth day at a church plant here in Georgia.
Wow.
Now I'm tripping because I didn't finish the sermon, but God, now that I, think back on it, was using that as an opportunity to preach it. Because had I never got the invitation, I would have never done it. So I had to finish it, finish the sermon, preach the sermon in December 2007. Never thought anything about it after that. A couple of weeks later, I'm editing a video for this pastor where he was preaching in Huntsville, Alabama at the time, called Evangelism Council. So I'm taking his content, editing it, getting it ready for our YouTube page and whatnot. I hear this same voice that says, I want you to be a pastor. So you remember that those things that I was going to consume at the sports bar? Listen, I'm going to keep it all the way 100 with you. I wanted to drink.
It's real talk.
It's real talk, right? One thing that you're going to know about me, I'm very transparent, right? I literally wanted to drink right after I heard, I want you to be a pastor. Because that just wasn't me. At the time, I was working for the federal government. I was working for the Centers for Disease Control. Had a good, what they say, government job, doing my thing in IT. Life is good. I'm not trying to be a pastor. I finally said yes. You talk about the journey. Let me keep it 100 with you. I said yes to ministry eventually because it was a long period of questioning, right? Why me? There's no way I could do it. I'm not good enough. I didn't go to school for this. I never wanted to be a pastor growing up.
And what was the struggle like during that period when you had questions?
Yeah,
even though the voice was telling you and you had what was the struggle like? What was happening there?
I still smoke. I still drink. I am not perfect by any stretch. I'll go to church. I believe in the Sabbath. I know everything about MVAY Sabbath School, Adventures, Pathfinders, and all that. But I also know what the world offers too. And I was, we say something in the West Indian home, in the river on the bank. I was both. You know what I mean? And so the struggle was me knowing who I am. Most people have the inability to self-assess. I've always known me and my issues, and I knew that my issues were not fit for pastoral ministry. But I eventually said yes, but I said yes for the wrong reason. So I was working, as I said, in Atlanta, at Atlanta Breun, Dr. Carlton Berg. I saw the responses he was getting from people in the community, from the church members, from just people. And I have been the type that has never had a whole lot of friends, right? And so I figured, okay, if I can become a pastor like Buddy, I'll get the same responses. So I said yes for the wrong reason.
The popularity.
But all God wants is your yes, and He'll flip it into the right reason eventually, right? So that was the journey. I said yes. I went to school. I went and got a certificate. I said, God, if I'm gonna be a pastor, let me at least know what I'm talking about, because my education prior to that was information technology. I went to a school in Georgia called ITC, Interdenominational Theological Center. I got a certificate in theology. Went to Oakwood several years later, 2014, got my undergrad in theology, went and got a master's, and just the rest is history. Just been doing things ever since. Started a church, started a nonprofit, just really trying to just show people, hey, listen, you ain't got to have it all the way together, but God loves you no matter what.
And He'll still use you. He'll still use you. And we were talking prior, and I asked you if you grew up in a family with pastors. Yeah. And you said no. No. But you did have something interesting that you were about to share. So go ahead and tell me about that.
No, my grandfather, he was the one, so he's from Jamaica, but he moved to Panama to build the Panama Canal. And he was the one who actually trained pastors in that area. So he was like that dude when it comes to ministry. And I'm talking about, this is back in the day, he's kicking it with Ellen White, the Bible that homegirl held up for all them hours. He's holding it up to see if it was possible. Like, it goes that far back. So my father was supposed to be a pastor. He was supposed to go to seminary in Costa Rica, but he was like, nah, I'm good. He ran from the call. I'm talking about ran from the call so much that he left Panama and moved to the States.
Oh, wow.
Because he was like, I don't want nothing to do with ministry. And isn't it crazy how I guess it skipped a generation?
Yes, came back to you. On me, so, wow. That's He will listen. God will pull you where He wants you to be.
My dad was always in church, elder so and so this, but he ran from that pastoral thing. So, but the mantle's here, I guess.
So you were definitely called. You were definitely called.
For sure.
So you're a pastor, but you also juice. So let's dive into the juicing aspect. You are on this this wellness journey, this health journey, and when I read about you and heard about you and got to talking with you. You told me about, my question to you was why and how did you get into it? So you told me about getting into it through COVID. So go ahead and share with us the reason for you going on this health journey. Yeah,
I've always been in health and wellness. Like early 2000s, I would train people at gyms, and, but my problem was I'd never had the nutrition piece together, right? So I was real good at helping people bulk and build muscle, lift weights. But I will also say, all right, you want to go to KFC afterwards, just eat whatever you want to eat. Because I'm going to burn it off once you get to the gym. I quickly lost that job because obviously I'm telling people the wrong information, right? Looking good, swole, like big guys, ladies building muscle, right?
But
you know what I'm saying? But the diet was crazy. So I've always struggled with the nutrition piece. But yeah, it was 2021. I went to this conference in Kentucky, and I ended up getting COVID. So I'm in the health and wellness space, just trying to, either work out or do cardio or whatever. But after I got COVID, which I don't wish on my worst enemy, that was the hardest thing I've ever been through. I said, let me really dial in my nutrition.
But I don't mean to cut you.
No, you're good.
Let's stop
at the show. You can do what
I
you
know,
do.
right? Real talk with Michelle.
There you go.
I know. Let's talk about the COVID aspect of it. How was that for you? Because you said you wouldn't wish it on. What was your journey, your COVID journey like?
Yeah, it was the craziest thing where on a Friday, I'm going to take someone else to get tested for COVID, but on the way there, I felt like I got hit by a truck. And I'm saying, wait a minute, you the sick one, not me, what's going on? So I get tested and it comes back positive, but I already knew something was just off. I was driving, I couldn't see straight, I had to pull over for a minute.
Wow, and just immediate.
Yeah,
that immediate.
It was just an overnight type of thing. Like, so we come back from this conference on a Thursday, and I'm taking this person to get tested on Friday. But as I'm driving there, I feel it. So yeah, I tested it, get positive, and I'm down, Michelle, for, it had to be 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow, that's
3
a
weeks.
while.
Just couldn't move, couldn't breathe. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. Just think of a flu times 100. It was the worst I've ever been through. But while I'm in that process, I'm trying to think of things to get out of it, right?
Yeah.
What do I do when and if I get out of this bed, right? I wasn't vaccinated at the time. So I scroll on some YouTube channels and I discover people juicing. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, they weren't black men. They were skinny Caucasian females. But I'm seeing their stories saying, hey, I lost such and such pounds by juicing and all of this. And I'm saying, I've tried everything up to that point in this little health and wellness thing, but juice. So let me see what happens. I'm also keeping it 100 with you, where I'm seeing their content and my media background saying this content is horrible. So here it is,
the critique.
this person I'm critiquing while sick, right? But also looking for answers, right?
Yeah. And listen, I honestly feel like, I'm not going to say God caused it, but I feel like COVID came at a time where we needed to slow down.
Yeah, 100%.
We needed to slow down. You know, we needed to, it allowed people to do so many things differently. Worship differently, family time differently, think about careers, you know, businesses, stuff like that. So that was quite the time that you took, you know, to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. God sat me down. But it was good that he did. Because I ended up finding something that has literally blessed a lot of people. So I went on the journey and I said, well, once I got better, I bought a juicer. I had to go preach a revival at my churches in South Carolina, end of July of 2021. Preached this revival, and after I preached this revival, the juicer comes. I get back to Atlanta, and I say, hey, you know what? Let me start this juicing journey. And I'm just juicing for my health, but also for content. Because I'm saying, hey, listen, this little girl right here is not about to put just a mediocre content out, but doing so well. So many subscribers.
You had to prove something too.
I had to prove something. I don't know who I'm proving it to, but I'm proving that, wait a minute. Here it is. You got the whole gold and silver play button on YouTube behind you, and this is just horrible content. Anyway, so I'm producing it, and immediately I start filming, but I film also for me. So Facebook has this thing where you know, it has memories that pop up. You know, here's where you are a year ago and 7 years ago or whatever. And so I started posting for my own self to say, number one is content, but number two, let me see where I'm at, what the journey is.
Where were you when you started?
I was about 270.
Okay.
I was about 270, 268, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And so I started juicing. And going back a little bit, I had went to the doctor, and the doctor was saying, hey, you're pre-diabetic. We want to put you on this medication called metformin. Now, my grandfather passed from diabetes, complications of diabetes. My father's on dialysis 10 hours a day from diabetes. My goodness. So I know with the history, once you get on this medication, it's a wrap, right? And so I wanted to prove to myself that I'm not going to be like my father and my grandfather in those ways. So I start the juicing journey. I post the content. In the beginning, Michelle, it was just random content. Let me just try something that tastes good or whatever. I didn't know the different ratios and recipes and all of that until
so you were just
I was just playing with it.
You were just
trying to do something different and feel better. And also, it helped that I couldn't keep any food down coming off of COVID, right? I went to preach this revival, but my son will tell you I lost so much weight during that process because I wasn't really eating. I don't even know how I found the strength to preach that revival, to be honest with you. So anyway, long story short, I started juicing. But then after this doctor's diagnosis, I said, let me find a juice for diabetes. Let me find a juice for the high blood pressure. You know what? I'm taking a whole bunch of Motrin because I'm suffering from debilitating migraines. Let me see if there's a juice for that. And so I'm researching recipes, and it's helping. And I'm saying, oh, okay, cool. Y'all, guess what? I don't take all this Motrin anymore. This juice worked for me. See if it's going to work for you. Hey, my numbers went down. My sugar numbers went down, etc. And so my juicing went from just general health to let me see if I can solve specific problems. And once I was able to niche down like that, the content took off. People have been blessed. God has allowed myself to lose over 40 pounds. And it's been a major blessing.
Let's take a quick break and enjoy this juicing segment with my guest or interview. We'll be right back.
All right, y'all.
This is my absolute favorite juice of all time. If you're looking for one juice that is kind of like a miracle cure and can kind of do it all, this is the juice for you. I don't even want to delay. Let's jump right into it. And I'm sure you've heard or seen these juices out there before, but none are like this one. Here we go. ABC beats A1C. A for apples, B for beets, C for carrots. We gotta throw in some ginger for digestion and to help remove and reduce our inflammation. Let's jump right into it, y'all. Got 2 small apples here. Gonna go ahead and core those up. Pop them in a juicer. Y'all, I was about to put the core in there. Tripping. All right, we're gonna take our carrots, cut those in half. Take our beet, and this is half of a beet. Remember, cut the tops off, shave them down so you don't get that earthy taste. Throw your ginger right in. This is going to be a phenomenal juice, y'all. This is great for detox. It's great for weight loss, and it is extremely low glycemic. Again, I put a lot of research into these recipes, y'all. These ingredients that I'm choosing for this particular section on diabetes and A1C, they're low glycemic. Look it up if you don't believe me, right? Apples are low glycemic. Now, the sugary apple juice, the I don't want to call the brand name just in case they're watching this and they want to sponsor your boy one day. You see what I'm saying? But those sugary drinks that you find on the shelves at the store, those apple juices, you want to stay away from them. But the real apples, those are all good for you, okay? Carrots, low glycemic. Pineapple, low glycemic. Beets are a superfood, so you're good there, right? These are the ingredients that you want to put into your system as a diabetic. This right here, y'all, one of the best juices ever created. Let's make sure we have our glass here. Apple, carrot, beet, ginger. Everything you need, y'all, to help you heal your body from the inside out.
And you also have an ebook out.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to do the book?
I can put out the videos all day long,
Yeah.
but people keep commenting and say, do you have a juice for this issue? And while I have a video for it, people aren't going to scroll through. So I said, let me put it in a book and just repurpose that content. And the book has actually been a major blessing to people. I'm not talking numbers, but we're saying God has really blessed that initiative. I never thought that all of these people would be healed by a book. And that's the title of the book, How to Heal Your Body by Juicing. We have recipes in there for weight loss. We talk about cancer. We talk about blood pressure. We talk about sexual health. Like, there are ways that we can heal our bodies without having to fill ourselves with a whole bunch of medicine and stuff that, if you notice, the pills don't really cure us.
It masks.
You know what I'm saying?
It masks.
They don't cure us at all. It keeps us stuck in that lifestyle. But the natural remedies from the earth that God gave us, that can actually heal us. So.
And how do you go about finding the recipes for each thing? Is it just something you Google? Is it just something, or you just experiment? How do you go about finding the different recipes for each thing?
Yeah, so I have a master's degree in community development. So one thing that taught me is how to research. So not just a quick Google search to do it. I actually have to see, are there any studies on this? You know, what are the benefits of, such and such a fruit and such a vegetable? And is it possible to combine the two? And will they counteract? So just doing that particular research and praise God for the master's degree to be able to do that. But I also went and got certified in plant-based nutrition from Cornell University so that I can really take this thing to another level and not just say, hey, y'all, it's a random recipe.
And better understand
I actually know what I'm talking about, as it relates to
to
healing our bodies from the inside out.
Yeah, that's amazing. Let me share something with you. So in preparation for this show, something happenstance happened, right? So one of my brothers, I have 5 brothers, and so one of my brothers, he lost a whole bunch of weight, and I'm telling him, oh, I'm excited, I'm gonna do this show and stuff like that. So So coming for the weekend, we saw each other, and we literally spent a night juicing.
Wow.
We spent a night bonding over juicing.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, he was sharing his journey with me,
Yeah.
and it was interesting because what the conversation brought about also was how expensive it is, costly, how costly it can be to eat healthy.
Okay.
You know, 6 pineapples, he bought 6 pineapples, was, you know, almost like $40 for 6 pineapples. But he made sure he got every ounce of, you know, he sliced a pineapple, but then, you know, you know, the, what do you call it? Not the inside of the pineapple, the outside, the top of the pineapple, the skin. Oh, he took the skin and he, you know, he made sure he got it all. So we did a couple juices. You know, he did the pineapple by itself, the natural pineapple, no sweetener. It was amazing. It was refreshing. He did the pineapple and ginger, and oh, it was amazing. So let's talk a little bit about, hi, bro. I'm talking about you.
What's up, fam?
But let's talk a little bit about the cost. Because a lot of people think that eating healthy is costly. You know, you want to eat, you know, the plant-based stuff, and, you know, you go to Whole Foods and Kroger's. They're expensive. Let's talk a little bit about that. Share your thoughts on that.
So it all depends on your mindset. Mindset is everything. If you're going to spend $12 at your favorite fast food restaurant, when I used to eat meat, I would go to Chick-fil-A. I would get the #1, throw some cheese on there, make it large size, and my drink was an Arnold Palmer, sweet tea and lemonade, right? That was the thing, and it was $12, $13. I could spend that same $12 and $13 on fruits and vegetables, right? So it's mindset. Fast food or food that's gonna give you long life, right? So I would say that it is not expensive if you do it the right way. So Whole Foods plant-based, basically, you know, you go into your grocery store and the outer edges is where it has all of the lettuce and the tomatoes and all the greenery and all the produce, right? Shopping there isn't that expensive. It's when you get into the processed stuff that it can become costly. So if you're gonna get the Impossible and the Beyond and all of the, you know, the fake meats or whatever, there's a place for that, because I certainly use it, but that's where it can add up. But if you want to stick to Whole Foods plant-based, your lettuces, your legumes and beans and all of that, listen, I can spend $100. I'd show you what I spend my money on. As a matter of fact, I have a video to show you how much food you can get at Whole Foods for under $60, right? Versus going to your grocery store and getting what you get, not you personally, but the next person, and comparing the two, right? And not just comparing finances, but comparing macronutrients as well, and to see which basket will help the person live the longest. Here's the other thing. I would recommend people shop, especially for fruits and vegetables, shop at their local farmer's market if they have it. Because you talk about 6 pineapples. I just bought 6 pineapples for $13.
Really? Where?
Yeah, it's called DeKalb Farmer's Market in Georgia.
You hear that?
If you're in the Atlanta area, shop at the DeKalb Farmer's Market, or just find a farmer's market in your area where you can get things a lot cheaper. And here's another hack, right? Repurpose your stuff, right? I'm gonna start talking about this later on this year, 2024, where people can save their money by replanting what you get from the store. Did you know you can take off the pineapple top and put it in there and plant it? Now, now let me say this though, it also takes like 2 or 3 years for it to grow, a pineapple, but that's something that you'll get the benefit from later on, right? I can show you how to take the romaine lettuce in the store, instead of, you know, putting the stuff in the food processor, the bottom of it in the food processor, or even in the trash. I can show you how to replant that thing, and it ain't gonna take 2 or 3 years. That'll come back in just a couple of weeks, and you can keep picking off the same lettuce, right? So there's ways to do it. Don't look at how much it's costing to eat healthy. Look at how much it will cost you if you don't eat healthy. Because I promise you, the metformin, the diabetes medicine, the high blood pressure medicine costs way more than any fruits and vegetables cost.
Yeah, but I think for a lot of people, it's just the thought of eating healthy is costly, and so it deters them from even doing the research or taking the time, you know, just knowing, because the average person, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult. It's average families to spend a whole lot of money on natural plant-based stuff. It is going to cost more, but it doesn't have to cost much more.
And I don't even think it costs more, Michelle. I really don't. I think, like I said, our mindset has to shift, and we have to stop believing everything we read and see on social media saying it costs more to do this, but Starbucks, just go ahead and get this white chocolate mocha. You know what I'm saying?
Venti chai iced tea.
Venti chai iced tea.
With soy milk.
Listen, come on.
And
I
it
would get
costs
the
more.
venti strawberry acai with a quickness. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that, but if I could spend between $7 and sometimes up to $15 at Starbucks, we can't say I don't have the money to eat healthy.
Yeah. But I guess it has to be intentional, right?
It has to be
the change
intentional,
itself has to be intentional.
Exactly. And it takes planning. So I think my advice for your listeners and anybody who may be watching this interview right now or listening on whatever platform is, plan your work and work your plan.
Yes,
right? Create a menu. Start with your budget. Create your menu. What do you want to eat for the week? How much are you willing to cook? If you're not the type that's willing to cook, okay, cool. Build it into your budget to say, I'm going to buy a salad from such and such a place. Or I'm going to go to Publix real quick or whatever your grocery store is and get the ready-made salad. If you're going to go and eat out, you know, now we're talking heavy nutrition, but find out what your body needs in terms of nutrients, right? And add that into your budget. You can still eat healthy even if you eat out, but you have to know what you're doing. If you let your hunger take over, then you just spending money. I can promise you, I can look over somebody's bank account right now and see that they done went to Zaxby's, they went to Burger King, they got Chinese food, they got pizza, but you telling me you don't have the money for this? You have it. You just got to repurpose your and shift your thinking to get you to that next level.
Yeah, and for some of us, I'm going to do some real talk with Michelle on myself.
Talk to me.
For some of us, it's not about not even having the money. For me especially is, I want to eat healthy. I need to lose some weight. I do suffer with migraines really bad.
Okay. Can I interrupt you on your show? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
You say you need to lose weight. Is that you talking or somebody else talking?
No, that's me.
You want to lose the weight. Okay.
I think, you know, energy-wise and just feeling better and healthier. I do need to lose a little bit of weight.
Okay. Because I hear people say all the time, I need to lose weight. And one thing I've learned on my journey is it's not always about the numbers on the scale. Sometimes it's about how you fit in your clothes, right?
That's why I need to lose the weight.
Oh, well, that's on you. You do your thing. Do your thing. Right? Do what you feel you need to do for you.
Masking
right? Doesn't she look good, y'all? Can y'all just type in the comment section right now, you look good, Michelle. Come on, can you show our host some love? You know what I mean? Right? But no, seriously, sometimes it's about how your clothes fit. Sometimes it is about your energy levels. Sometimes it's not going to be reflected in the scale, right? And so I don't want people thinking, man, I got to lose 20, 30 pounds. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just need to drop a dress size or some pant size, and it's not always that. I don't want people to be so stuck this year going into their health and wellness goals on saying, man, if I don't lose 20 pounds, I'm a failure. Right?
Or not seeing it fast enough and stopping.
Exactly. Everybody gonna go to the gym, right? It's January,
right?
You're probably on the treadmill right now watching this, but in 2 weeks you ain't lose your 20 pounds and you said the gym is a scam. No, it don't work like that. You didn't gain 15 pounds overnight, so you're not gonna lose it overnight. Be patient with yourself. Don't worry about the scale. Be committed to the process so you can get to the next level. I'm sorry. I just wanted to drop that in because I was like that, right? I was like, I'm not seeing the numbers, so I'm still fat. When it wasn't about that, where I wasn't seeing the numbers, but I went from a size 42 to a 38 and eventually a 36. As the numbers were slowly dropping, I was noticing other changes. So pay attention to the other changes. I'm saying.
The mental change and the physical. So, but I was saying, it wasn't so much about the money, especially for me. It's schedule, right? My life is extremely busy, on the go, on the run. What are your tips and suggestions for someone who has a busy schedule? And I honestly must say, I don't have the time to cut a pineapple. I don't have the time. I really don't. What would you suggest for folks like that who they want to do the journey, but just time, lack of time?
I would say you gotta reprioritize your schedule. Everybody gets the same 24 hours in a day. Everybody has the same time. So that's like the great neutralizer, where the people who say you don't have time, well, what makes your time different? I get it, you may have more responsibilities, but you definitely have the time. So let's say you sleep 7 hours a day. Let's say you sleep 4 hours, right? Well, guess what? You might have to sleep 3.5 and take an extra 30 minutes to just do your food prep. Because here's what's gonna happen. You sleep for 4 hours, but you're sacrificing the extra 30 minutes just to prep your stuff the night before, or even right before you go to sleep, right? Here's what I want you to do. Track it and say, okay, I'm only going to go in for 3.5, but I'm going to take this 30 minutes to devote to myself and my health and wellness, whether that's eating right, planning to eat right, going to the gym, exercising, whatever that looks like. You'll notice you'll start getting a little bit more sleep. You'll notice that you actually have more time to devote to yourself because your shift is in the middle of all the busyness. If I'm not here, what's the purpose of it, right? So it doesn't matter if it's work, it doesn't matter if it's school, it doesn't matter if it's family and kids and whatever the responsibilities are. At the end of the day, you only get one you. So the first thing I would tell that busy husband, that busy wife, that busy man, that woman, that busy student who's just, grinding out with finals, whatever it is, make yourself the focus. I know, I'm a pastor or whatever, and you got to put God first. I get that, right? You can do both. You can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? Yes, you get yourself right with God, but even in that, that's putting you first. Take some time out for you. The second thing you got to do, plan your work, as I said before, and work your plan. So like meal prep. If you know you don't have a lot of time, on your down day, buy your fruits and vegetables, chop them up.
What down
right?
day?
What down day? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna go here. You don't have time to chop up the fruits and vegetables. Do me a favor and buy it frozen. You gotta have time to go grocery shopping, right? So don't worry about buying the fresh pineapple.
And that's
buy
the
it frozen.
thing, like with smoothies, right? I love smoothies, but I in my head and in my mind, the frozen fruit isn't doing anything for me, right? Because I'll make the smoothie with the frozen fruit, but here's my issue. I get the smoothie mix, the strawberry, the banana, I think it's filled with sugar, I don't know, but it makes the smoothie taste good.
Okay.
And I'll do that for 2 days, and after 2 days, I'm like, nah, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. Because I'm hungry now, and I need some real food,
So let me talk to that for a minute. So number one, two things. Number one, you have to purchase the fruits and vegetables in their natural state frozen, right? So you buying fresh pineapple frozen. You ain't buying no pineapple chunks. Dough, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's in some sort of liquid or nah. Go to the frozen section, buy the strawberries, buy the pineapples, buy the blueberries. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you don't want a juice, put them in a smoothie. The smoothie is actually a little bit, here's a secret. Yes, I know I have almost 250,000 followers on the juicing thing, right? But watch this. Smoothies are so phenomenal because it keeps the fiber, right? And it's going to help you with that feeling full. It's going to help you feel satiated longer, right? Here's the other thing that I would say. You have to change your mindset. And you have to get disciplined enough to say, I know I just had a strawberry banana smoothie yesterday and I don't want it today. No, you're going to drink it again today. You're going to drink it again tomorrow.
Or learn
you're going to drink it again the next day.
Or learn how to get creative with it.
Yeah, you can get creative, but I would even say to somebody, like, I think, Michelle, it takes, according to this study, it says it takes 21 days to build a habit, right? And so you can't build a habit if you're always changing it every so often. So I dare your listeners right now, I dare you, Michelle, I'm real talk to myself. I dare myself over these next 21 days to do the same thing over and over and over again and watch us get the results we're looking for. Eat the same thing for the next 21 days for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're going to be bored out of your mind. You're going to pull your hair out. See, I don't have none already, right? But you're going to notice something like, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. You're going to be motivated by the results you get, by the fact that you were mentally strong enough, by the fact now that you actually are feeling better in your clothes, you're going to start feeling yourself like, you know what? I got this, right? If you can tell yourself you got this, there's nothing you can't do.
2024,
this
healthier,
is our year. Let's go.
Better you.
There you go.
2024, and me. So let's talk a little bit about some of these recipes for certain things. I suffer with migraines.
Okay.
If I don't eat on time or stress or whatever, and it can be very debilitating. I don't know if you've ever had a migraine. So tell us something from the juicing side, and let's also talk about some of these things, especially or people that we're diagnosed with, right?
Yeah,
We have the diabetes, we have the glaucoma,
Yeah.
we have, you know, what
Cardiovascular,
else?
heart health,
Yeah. Let's talk
obesity.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the juicing with some of these things.
Yeah. So as far as migraines are concerned, you're more than likely dealing with a lot of inflammation. So the first thing I would recommend is consuming vegetables that are high in water content, right? Because that will help with the hydration piece, right? So if you like fruits,
Yes.
go with watermelon, right? Watermelon is
yeah.
if you don't like to drink water, eat your water, right? Watermelon is a phenomenal way to do that, right? Lettuces like 90% water, right?
Yeah.
So you have that. Cucumber, very, very hydrating. So try to combine juices and, try to combine fruits and vegetables in your juices that are very hydrating. The second thing is for the inflammation piece, you want to stick with like ginger. Ginger is very anti-inflammatory. You want to get with turmeric. You want to use things that are going to get rid of that inflammation, that major swelling that's taking place. You want to shrink that down as much as possible. So a good recipe for juicing, as far as migraines are concerned, I would say cucumber, kale, you can grab some lemon, spinach, and ginger.
Wow.
That'll be a great recipe to help. Just it'll be hydrating for you, and it'll help that pressure. What I love about the juicing is it goes right into your bloodstream, right? So if you're taking Motrin or Advil or Aleve or whatever it is, Excedrin, right? You got to wait 30 to 45 minutes for it to kick in. You ever see these people on TV, like they're going through some sort of panic attack and they grab their pill bottle and they take the pill and like, I feel so. Body don't work like that.
No, especially with a migraine. Listen, you turn off the lights and you have to literally like.
You got to shut down.
And it takes time and it's draining.
Yes.
When it's gone, you are drained.
Yeah, because your body's just going through so much trauma. Yeah. So drink this to put it right into your bloodstream and still do some of those things. 'Cause I'm gonna be honest with you, I had to do some of that as well. So I would drink the juice and then I put the eye protection over, make sure all the lights are off in the room, and I would just sit there and be still. But I would notice in about 10, 15 minutes, I would feel better, right? So, and then once I feel better, take a moment to breathe, immediately follow that with water, because again, water flushes all of that, rehydrates your body, and then you can go about your day.
And do you suggest for something like that, that in order to avoid it, you do it daily? Is this something you suggest we drink daily, or just do it, if you feel a migraine coming on, quickly juice and get it done?
So in that case, I would say the person needs to figure out what else is going on, right? What other lights are you around? Are you looking at a screen all the time, right? Are you scrolling social media, whatever you may not even be on social media. You may be doing legit work from your phone, but that blue light is killing you. Looking at the screen on your desk. What are the stressors in your life that you have to figure out, right? I tell people juicing is not a magic bullet. It can help, but you got to figure out everything else going on. Are you stressed? Is there something going on at home? Is there something going on at work? Are you tripping about your money right now? What else are you eating? Right? Is your diet full of salt? We talked about going to the fast food restaurant. It's full of sodium. You're eating even the what I call transition foods, like the Impossible and the Beyond or whatever, right? Is it full of salt? As you cook it, so that's contributing to the migraines as well. So you got to try to say, yes, I'm gonna drink the juice to feel better, but let me eliminate all these other things as much as possible so that I don't catch the migraine.
And for you, we just said, okay, the juicing is not a fixer. Right?
It's a booster, right? It'll jumpstart you, but it's
right.
not a magic bullet.
Right.
Yeah.
And for you, did you also have to change your diet with the juicing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I started juicing. I would drink 2 to 3 juices every day, and that helped. Now, again, I believe in full transparency, right? Again, through COVID, I probably lost 10 to 12 pounds. And the weight just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. So I actually capitalized on that weight loss with the juicing, and that helped as well. But then once I realized, okay, cool, I've kind of plateaued on the juicing, I'm still hungry, so what am I gonna eat?
Right.
Am I gonna go straight to this burger after I had this juice? Or am I gonna try to eat a salad instead? So I started manipulating my diet. I started hydrating more, getting more water. And there were times if I couldn't drink, my personal goal was a gallon of water. If I didn't drink that, at the time, watermelon was still in season. I'm going to eat some watermelon, right? Or what I love about juicing, just real quick, juicing watermelon, you cannot blend the skin of a watermelon, but you can juice it, right? And so I would throw the whole thing in my juicer, and not only would I get the sweetness from the fruit or whatever, I would get the benefits from the skin, and that would help as well. So it was a holistic thing for me.
Yeah.
In addition to juicing, in addition to eating right, in addition to trying to walk, right? Because that was a big thing as well. Slowly putting in exercise. I tried to make sure I was getting enough sleep, right? I tried to make sure that we talk about God. God, let me make sure I'm spending time with you, not just to write a sermon, but because you're my creator. You know what I'm saying? So it was a holistic approach that I took, and I'm still on the journey.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
what the church folks say, I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah.
But I'm not where I used to be.
Yeah. And let's talk about, we're getting ready to wrap up soon, but let's talk about one of the main things for our people, the diabetes.
Yeah.
Right? So you were diagnosed pre-diabetes,
Yep.
right? About to get, and we talked about your family having that. So tell me the discovery of the juicing and how it helped you with that.
Yeah, so one of the things that I was committed to proving to myself and to the doctor that said it, which they don't really care about me, I'm just telling you, like they were just trying to push their medicine, right, and make me another statistic. I said, give me 4 months. When I come back into this office, not only will I not be morbidly obese, as you called it, not only will my numbers change, but hopefully I'm gonna make you a believer that medicine is not going to cure you, right?
Mask it. Yeah.
So I say there's no magic bullet, whatever, but one of the most phenomenal juicing recipes, I call it ABCG, right? Apples, beets, carrots, and ginger. Listen, that is the most healing juice on the planet. People think green juices or whatever. Apples have the polyphenols that can it does your body good, right? Beets is like a major superfood. People talk about kale, but beets are phenomenal, right? They're very sweet. Beets are great. Carrots with the beta carotene, and again, ginger with the anti-inflammatory properties. Somehow you combine those things together. When I tell you, blood pressure came down, sugar numbers came down. It's a low glycemic combination, so it's safe for diabetics to have. And I was knocking that thing back a couple times a day. When I said I was drinking 2 to 3 times a day, that was the juice. When I went back to the doctor, she was shocked. She was like, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. I said, I told you, I don't need your stinking metformin. You're not going to put me on medication for the rest of my life. It's just not going to work. Like I said, my father has dialysis because of diabetes 10 hours a day. He has no quality of life hardly, right? And I said, I'm not going to live like that. There was a time where I wanted to be like my father, but I don't want to be like him in that case. Dad, I love you if you're watching, man, but that dialysis ain't for me. And if I could do anything to change your situation and people like that, I will. Once your kidneys are that far gone, it's kind of hard to reverse it, right? Which is why I'm so adamant about helping people, especially that look like you and I, saying you don't have to struggle with obesity. You don't have to struggle with diabetes. Type 2, and I'm going to be clear, I'm talking type 2 diabetes. I'm not talking type 1. Type 1 is completely different. But type 2 diabetes is completely voluntary. It's voluntary. You don't have to have they call it the sugar. Right? You don't have to put so much sugar in your Kool-Aid, right? Right? You don't have to eat like you eat. You can reverse the curse simply by changing what you put in your mouth. I pastor in an area of South Carolina. It's called the Low Country. About 20 minutes from my church, about an hour from my church is Georgetown, South Carolina. Georgetown, South Carolina is where the first slaves came to this country, indentured servants, right? Through that history, they developed, as we know, something called soul food, where we took the worst of the worst and we made it the quote unquote the best. But if you notice, it wasn't really the best because you take the collard greens and you cook all the nutrients out, but you put your ham in it and your turkey and your fat back and all these things. And I'm not dissing or shading the people, our ancestors who did the best they could with what they had, right? There's something to be said about people that do the best they can with what they have.
But now we know
But
better.
if you know better,
Now we know better.
you got to do
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
If you know better, you got to do better. And so I don't want to see any more of my people struggle with obesity, struggle with high blood pressure, struggle with diabetes when you don't have to, when you can make a couple of changes to your diet that will reverse the curse.
Yeah.
I want to see you this year thrive. I know we're getting ready to close, and I'm just simply going to tell you this. Your desire to be financially free this year means nothing if you don't have the health to enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah.
Your desire to be a baller, put all of that on your vision board. I literally want you to become a multimillionaire. I want to see you be the first one in your family to have these riches. But if you're not here to enjoy it, there's not going to be a U-Haul behind your hearse. I don't want to see you spend your wealth on medications and hospital visits and oxygen tanks and dialysis and kidney transplants. I want to see you do better. Let me help you do better.
Yeah.
Watch this episode.
Yeah.
Share it with your friends. Share it with your family and your loved ones. But don't just watch it. Apply the information, right? So we can get you to the next level. Because I promise you, when you're healthier, the money's going to be that much better.
Yeah.
The relationships are going to be
Yes.
that much better.
Yeah.
You'll be able to have a different quality of life, not because of your bank account, but because your numbers look good in terms of your health. Your blood pressure is good. Your sugar levels are good. You don't have diabetes. You don't have high blood pressure. You're not morbidly obese. The numbers on the scale. I'm not saying you got to look like some magazine cover chick, some Instagram model, because that's fake, right? But I am saying be the best version of yourself. Change what you put into your mind. Change what you put into your mouth. And what is in you will eventually come out of you. And the rest of your life will be the best of your life.
And let the church say amen. A sermon in itself. A sermon in itself. That was good. That was good stuff. So you have a second book coming out.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
How to heal from the inside out. The first one was how to heal your body by juicing. This one is how to heal from the inside out. I give you 21 recipes that 7 of them deal with diabetes, 7 of them deal with obesity, 7 of them deal with cardiovascular issues. The top 3, you talked about Google a minute ago. I ain't saying you got to be a scholar, right?
Yeah.
But if you Google the top 3 health issues,
Yeah,
especially
for
amongst
sure.
African Americans,
For sure.
it's cardiovascular health, heart health. It's obesity. Everybody is overweight, especially in America, where we are the most obese nation around. Everybody's struggling, or a lot of people are struggling with diabetes. I'm going to give you juices that help you heal from the inside out, but I'm also giving you what to eat. Because you can juice, that's cool, that's a good start for the day, but I'm gonna show you how to change your diet as well. I got some other nuggets in there that's really gonna take your life to a whole nother level, so please be on the lookout for that. So you'll be able to go on Amazon and purchase your copy of the physical book. If that's what you want, the ebook, you can have that right now.
One question I always ask my guests, and the first one for 2024, are you living your purpose?
I'm trying to every single day. And the reason I say I'm trying to is I'm still discovering it. T.D. Jakes had a sermon several years ago where he said, the thing leads to the thing that leads to the thing.
I like that.
And so sometimes we think we're living in our purpose, but God has something else in store. So my job every single day is to say, all right, Lord, here I am. What do you want me to do today? I never thought that this juicing thing would turn into a health and wellness empire, if you would. And it was never my job to be a pastor, right? But I'm helping people achieve spiritual health. It was never my job to, or my goal. It was never, I shouldn't say my job. It was never my goal to be a pastor. It was never my goal to do this health and wellness thing, but I'm helping people with their physical health. Michelle, I'm getting my doctoral degree in counseling because mental health is a big thing. I've got the Jesus in Therapy hoodie on. It was never my goal for that, but I'm helping people with mental health. God is slowly revealing to me every single day. He didn't turn the faucet on. It's a trickle, you know. Do this, do this, do this, do this. And then you can look up and say, wow, this is my purpose. Right now, Michelle, I want to make sure I'm the best I can be every day and help others do that same exact thing every single day. And that's my goal for 2024 and beyond.
That's awesome stuff, because I feel like, you know, each year we set goals to be a better you and a better you. But if we don't truly implement it and be intentional about it and stick with it, it's not going to happen. And so before we know it, the year ends and we're still where we were. So it's my prayer that this information that's being shared today will encourage us. It encouraged me for sure, to balance my time,
Praise God.
and to make, to be more intentional about, just making the little changes I need, with my eating habits and making the time to do what I need to do to have a better, healthier me as well. So I truly, truly appreciate this. But before we do close, I know you preached a mini sermon a few minutes ago.
It wasn't my intention. My bad, y'all. My bad.
But
the Lord be praised.
Yeah. But just to close, just give some more words of encouragement as we enter 2024. Health, you're going into the mental part of it as well. If you can just as well say something about that. I have to have you back on to talk about the mental, because it's my goal for 2024, at least for the start of 2024, to do some shows to help people and encourage. I do it by sharing people's journeys and testimonies, but I think we need to focus a little bit more on ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, first I would say, again, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Listen, y'all, this is your time. It's your year.
This is now. Do it now. Yeah.
Do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now. Don't wait. You may be watching this on a Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., but here's what I want you to do. Not wait until next week, Sunday, to get it together when your week resets, right? Put the information into practice right now. The biggest mistake we as humans make is we are experts at consuming, right? Social media has taught us how to consume a lot of content, but we don't necessarily apply the information. One of my mentors says, information applied changes situations.
Oh, I like that.
So I want you to get this information, right? Everything, all the nuggets that you heard today from whether Michelle or from myself, write it down, right? And then figure out tomorrow. You're watching this on a Tuesday, or maybe you're watching a replay, I don't know, live on Tuesday, replay whenever you're watching it. But write down the nuggets that you heard, and then figure out tomorrow what you're gonna execute on. Are you gonna get 1% better tomorrow? Are you going to add a little bit more water to your diet? Are you going to spend a little bit more time in prayer? Are you going to eliminate, to the best of your ability, the certain stressors that are causing the migraines? Are you going to shop more whole foods, plant-based? Instead of getting the processed food, you're gonna get more fresh food. Instead of getting the meat, you're gonna get beans, right? What changes are you going to make? But not just tomorrow, not just today and right now, right? Not just tomorrow, but for the rest of your life. You gotta be consistent, right? Do it every single day. And if you can get 1% better every single day, I promise you the rest of your life will be the best of your life.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate the time and the information. I pray that God will continue to use you in your ministries, and that you'll continue to walk in your purpose, whatever that is, whatever God sees fit to lead you. And
absolutely. And Michelle, I appreciate you again. Thank you for everything that you're doing in this community. I wish you nothing but success and favor and increase. Anything I could do to help you, I said it off camera. I'm gonna say it in front of the people so I can be held accountable to that. Whatever you need, please let me know. And have me back, please, because I want to make sure that your viewers have everything they need to succeed.
Absolutely.
No more excuses, right?
I think we're going to talk about doing part 2 with the mental wellness, if you're okay with that.
Let's do it.
So we'll get that done. Thank you. And to your viewers, as always, thank you for watching. I pray that you were blessed. I pray that you are encouraged to be a healthier and better you for 2024. Until next time, let's have some real talk.